mean, this was some sort of a game?
Hello and welcome to another episode of 49 Undefeated, and I'm joined by Michelle. How is it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It has been a while, but
It has been a hot minute. Every time we've gone to do it, we've gone, or maybe this isn't the time.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some highs and there's definitely been some lows. But we wanted to focus more on the highs.
Yeah, definitely. Why not after the week we've had with the team at the Emirates and in London? Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
What a week. What a week.
It was an amazing week. It was an absolutely amazing week. I mean, we could go through the United game, but I think maybe we just generally chat about what's going on with the team at the moment, because it is just been, I mean, if you think back a few games ago and we lost 3 on the bounce, and to teams that you just wouldn't have thought we would have maybe dropped a couple points, but definitely not lost all 3. And
yeah. I foresaw Palace maybe being a bit of a banana skin because they're tough. They're a hard team to play, but I thought Southampton and Brighton, I thought that should have been well wrapped up, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I think many of us was. I mean, I think that the added thing that was playing on a lot of people's minds going into the Southampton was because it's almost like not the Southampton, the Crystal Palace. The break came just at the wrong time because we had a bit of momentum, and then we had a little bit of break, and then we all thought, this Palace game coming back, Vieira night game is going to be a bit dodgy, but the other two really hurt. The other two was just like, oh man.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We went through a phase. It was a while ago. I mean, Wenger was still at the club, but we lost a few times to Southampton, and they were looking like they might be one of our bogey teams. And then it was just seemed to get it out of our system the last few years, and then no, not this time.
Yeah. No,
this time. Yeah,
but then, and then we had Chelsea and then United on the horizon, and I think. Well, just tell me, what was your thoughts when you saw the Chelsea team news come out? Because I think, for myself, I was thinking, oh my gosh.
I was like, what's he doing? I was like, what are you doing? I was surprised to see El Neni on the team sheet instead of Lokonga. I was surprised to see Holding in there. I was like, he's going full Jose. He just wants to go and park the bus, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But you know what? It worked. It worked. It did. I think it took Chelsea by surprise.
Yeah.
And I think looking at it, I was thinking about it a little bit earlier as we were talking about it at home as kickoff happened. I was like, this is going to be a disaster. And my half was like, it's going to go one of two ways. It's either Arteta doesn't know what he's doing or he's a tactical genius.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, we played City and Liverpool, and we tried to play our normal style of football, and it didn't work. And I think Arteta looked at it and went, we can't do that against Chelsea. We need to do something different and almost shock them. Yeah. And I think it did. I think they just went, hang on, this isn't the lineup we were expecting.
Yeah.
When you haven't got party fit and everything, you got to do what you got to do, haven't you? So.
Definitely. And I think the first 5 to 10 minutes of that was evident of all of that, because there was so much kind of tactical changes going on. Was we playing a back 5, or was it like, transforming into a 3 with the wing backs, or 4? It was so much going on. And one of the guys that came in, well, a few of them that came in actually played well. I didn't expect Eddie to keep his place, but I thought maybe because Laka hasn't been really doing it for the longest of times either. Yeah. I thought he might just keep him in there, but I was surprised about Holding. I was definitely surprised to see El Neni come back into the fold, because it had just been so long since.
I know, but if you think about it retrospectively, though, Holding and El Neni have always been really solid squad players, and they've always stepped up when we've needed them to in these sorts of games. And there almost seems to be an acceptance from them that they're probably not going to start, but they will get game time, and it will be worth it when they do. So I was surprised to see Eddie named instead of Martinelli at the start of the Chelsea game.
Yeah,
especially because he can be so inconsistent.
Yeah.
But not this week. No. He turned up this week. Whether he wants a new contract with us or if he's putting himself in the shop window, whatever it is, it's working.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're getting the goal, so I ain't complaining. And then like
Yeah.
you fast forward again onto the weekend, and I think off the back of the Chelsea game, most fans were thinking, okay, we know how difficult that game was, but we got the result. But keep it going, keep the pressure on, and it's early kickoff. We know we don't normally do that well in early kickoffs, but it was just like,
no,
come on, just keep the pressure
especially when
on.
United have had the extra day of rest as well,
That's
which they
it.
had. And then they named Ronaldo in the starting 11. I was like, oh God, here we go. And I saw Jesse Lingard's name on the bench. I was like, oh no. But let's be clear. United were poor in the first half. They were an embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean,
they were an embarrassment. They were bad.
They were pretty shocking. Even in that first 10 minutes as an opening, it just looked like we could get through at any time.
Yeah. Oh, it was a joke.
It didn't even seem like we were having to try that hard. It was just like,
oh yeah,
the chances were there if we could take them.
You know, when you watch like Liverpool and City and you watch them cruising through something, you think you lot have still got a couple of gears to go through and you're still winning. Yeah. I felt like that on Saturday. I felt like we can still turn it up a little bit more if we needed to, you know. So and it's good to know that the team can get results against the big teams, even when they don't have Partey, when they don't have Tierney, when we don't. Let's be honest, we don't really have a striker.
Yeah,
you know, it's good to see that they can grind it out, and I think the Arsenal of 2 or 3 years ago probably wouldn't have had that mentality.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was, again, looking at the lineup of that game. So Holding came back out, but Cedric went back into right back position. Tavares kept his place. Elneny was kept his place, and Eddie again. No, Martinelli on bench, Smith Rowe on the left, and it was kind of like, okay, let's go again. It's almost like it took those 3 games for Arteta to find that kind of gritty kind of team to get through this period when we are experiencing so much injuries.
Yeah, and I think. Yeah, I was thinking about Tavares the other day. We've got to talk about Tavares, haven't we? Because it's like being on a roller coaster watching that, man.
We definitely do.
Well, do you remember early in the season, Tierney picked up an injury and Tavares played so well, we were all questioning if Tierney would start. And then like the last few weeks, it's been like, what the hell? But, you know, Arteta showed a bit of faith in him.
Yeah.
He's regained it, but oh my God, I didn't know what was going to happen yesterday. I was like, is he getting sent off? Is he about to score a hat trick? I don't know. It was wild.
It was wild. He's an erratic player, isn't he? He's just like watching him. I think the clearest thing from watching him is that he's just not ready yet, and I think it's similar to Lokonga, but with less of the kind of erratic play. But with Lokonga, I don't think he's being dropped because he's not good enough. I just don't think he's ready yet to actually play in that midfield. But Tavares, I think there's a lot of positioning play, what to do in certain phases of the games that he needs to learn.
Hasn't got yet. But then when you're not starting every week, it is hard to learn that.
Yeah.
It's hard to learn that.
I mean, he got on the score sheet early. The ball, I think he had the ball to start off with, and then it went back to Xhaka, crossed it over. Saka cut inside, took a shot, and then on the back stick is Tavares.
Yeah. I think the difference is as well when you've got White and Gabriel at the back, they're really solid. So if the fullbacks are not quite doing the do, they're there for the mop up. And actually, who did we have last year? Louise and 28 other central defenders, and the solidness there almost allows Cedric and Tavares to have those slightly ropey moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't like them. My heart rate was through the roof.
Well, we speak about Tavares, but I mean, Cedric's game was pretty bad as well. I mean, every time
the first half wasn't great, was it?
No, I mean, every time Sancho got the ball, there was times where he was actually giving him the ball as well, and it was just like he's the one player that could probably do something. Yeah.
Cedric, I think in the last few weeks hasn't been that bad. But yeah, boy, was I pleased to see Tomiyasu come on for those last 10 minutes. I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God.
No, he's done a decent job. But yeah, it's just,
it's not his position full time.
No. And I mean, going back to Tavares, I just feel like he's a kind of, I mean, Arteta was saying it after the game, wasn't he? He's just like, he just needs that support. We all know that this is, to get us to the summer type thing. And then he's going to have a full season of training with the team. And hopefully, with all that added stuff under his belt, he can push on. But at the moment,
there's clearly a very talented player in there that just needs a bit of training.
Just a bit of molding.
Working with the team.
Yeah, for sure. But so we go, what was it? The second goal. I'm trying to think what the second goal was now.
The second goal was the penalty.
Oh, it's the penalty decision. VAR stepped in, and what did you make of the whole situation?
Oh, it took a long time.
It took a long time to get there, didn't it?
Well, there was that one, and obviously the Fernandes one at the other end. VAR.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We have been done over by VAR so many times this season. Mm-hmm. I don't care. It's about time we had some luck. I don't care. A goal's a goal.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I don't care.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty much the same. There was, I mean, I feel like there was a lot of decisions because there was Tavares on Nilanga. There was like the Cedric scrambling handball thing. There was a few of these kind of, could that be a pen? Could that not? That went our way for a change. Like that doesn't normally happen.
So I watched it on BT Sport. We're not endorsing particular channels or anything, but as it were. And they always have like Peter Walton on there, and he was saying Rio Ferdinand was giving it some blah blah blah, and if it was you refereeing, you're hiding behind the rules. And Peter Walton was like, he literally read the rules out. These are the literal rules, so you might not agree with it, but actually the ref's decisions were technically, in the eyes of the law, correct at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it didn't stop the heart and mouth at the time, though. I was thinking,
but is it just me? Something's not right with Bruno Fernandes at the moment, is it?
Yeah, there's definitely something off, and I don't really understand it because I mean he's just got.
He didn't look confident running up for that penalty at all. He didn't look confident running up for the penalty. I sat there and went, he's gonna miss.
Yeah.
And that naughty tackle he put in as well, like studs up. He should have gone off for that.
He does that a couple times. He's just
become a bit whiny, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was lucky to be on. He's not the player he was.
I don't know what's happened. I think there's obviously something going on in their changing room, and there's obviously clicks. There's obviously clicks, and you know what? Long may it continue, because honestly, I don't care.
If we'd have had the Bruno Fernandes of last season playing against us, we would have been in a lot more trouble, I think. Definitely. Yeah. But it was nice. It was nice to beat them. It's always been a real scrap, and it was nice to beat them and Chelsea. It doesn't happen that often for us, let's be honest. So and the whole thing around Arsenal's record against the top six isn't great. Well, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. It's pretty good now, isn't it? So.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't happen back to back often, that's for sure. But I mean the lads he picked, they just repaid the faith, like all of them to a T. They none of them stopped, none of them like was giving up or anything. They're just leaving it all out there on the pitch.
Do you know who I really, really like at the moment? He's really grown on me, particularly in the last few years, is Martin Odegaard. I've always thought he was good. There's a little bit of, there's like a steeliness, a determinedness, but it's not aggressive. He's very, very calm, and you see why he's the captain of his country at such a young age.
Yeah.
And to ask him to step up and captain the side against United is a big ask. There's a lot of rumours doing the round that he's going to get the ban next season, which I would not be opposed to. I think he should. Him or Tierney, but Tierney's so injury prone, bless him. He'd spend quite a bit of time just shouting from the touchline.
I would actually lean more towards Odegaard. I think at first I was in the Tierney camp, but then I was thinking about the way we have been playing when Tierney was in the team. And there was a period where, although Tierney's having decent games and solid games, well, definitely compared to now we're missing him. But there was a period when there were still people saying, "Oh, he's not doing enough. He's not bombing up the left, and whenever he gets the ball, he's just taking the easy option and passing it back." And there was a time when I was thinking, if he is captain and he does those back passes often, people could just get on him. Oh, you're not showing what you need to be showing on the pitch, kind of thing. Whereas I think with Odegaard, he's right in the middle of play. He can dictate games. He can pop the pass back when need be. He can, find those passes going forward. And the relationship is formed with Saka.
So good.
Oh my gosh!
Do you know what? Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Saka need to be starting every week together now. Every week. Yeah, 100%. And I think, he's just that nice little pivot in the middle of the park, isn't he? And he just, oh man, when he picks a pass, geez, you're just like, that's magic. That's magic.
It's kind of a shame that Partey got injured when he did, because he was also forming a similar kind of relationship with Partey at the same time.
Yeah, and that Xhaka and Partey as a relationship's come on a really, really long way as well. And it's been really nice to watch. I think Odegaard was. And he went through a phase, didn't he, of having a brilliant first half and then sort of disappearing in the second half. I don't know whether it's through tiredness or whatever, or the opposition figuring out his game and dampening it a bit, but it's been happening less recently. He's present for the whole game now, and I think that's a really big difference in the way he plays. So.
Oh, for sure, definitely. But one guy who was in the midfield for both games, well, we'll get onto Xhaka because he's had a great
week. My main man, Granit Xhaka, he's had a brilliant week.
We'll get onto him. But El Neni as well, who's coming out of the cold for both games, he was just doing the right thing when need be, wasn't it? It was just like he's applying the pressure, he's chasing down every ball, he's popping the easy pass off when need be, and he's pushing forward. Like the amount of time he looks forward when trying to pass, it's great.
Is his contract up soon? Am I correct in thinking he could, because I was thinking about him and Holding and them being really good squad players. And I was thinking about why players leave clubs. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's the manager, sometimes it's, I want Champions League football. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Lacazette. Sometimes it's, listen, if you scored more goals, you might be in the Champions League. Anyway,
I know.
That's a bit mean. I do like Lacazette, but anyway. And some players like Emi Martinez left because he wanted enough game time to get into the international side. Now El Neni's always going to start for Egypt. He's now done starter for them anyway. He's always going to get the call up. He's won trophies with Arsenal. He's played European football with Arsenal, and if he's happy, like Holding, to accept that he's going to be a squad player, I'd keep him. I'd keep him as a squad player.
I heard someone say that. I can't remember. It was on one of the broadcasts that say that he was pushing for a move in January just because he wanted to play. And Arteta, because he knew he was letting Maitland-Niles go, he was letting others go, he was like, no, I'm going to bring you in. You're going to play a part of this season. So who knows? He might then look at it at the end of the season and say, you know what? There's still a role for you here, because at the end of the day, we do have a young squad and he is experienced that can come in and do a job when need be.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Firmino doesn't play every game for Liverpool. Origi doesn't play every game for Liverpool. Even Milner doesn't, and if you're happy to accept that you're going to be part of a bigger squad, I think he's a valuable squad player.
Yeah.
100%. He's one I'd keep.
For sure. But
I'm just trying to think of a time where he had a really bad game, and he's had a few quiet games, but he's never had any absolute stinkers that I can think of. I think he's wrong.
I think he is he is kind of like our Milner, where you know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get an average 7 out of 10 every time he plays. He will probably misplace the odd pass and whatnot, but generally he's going to have a decent game. It's just, what you're getting with him. But
yeah,
onto his sidekick, who again was great these last two games.
I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill.
Well, he not even just these two games, if I'm being fair to him, because he has been playing well for a while. And it's still
he's still been doing a few naughty tackles here and there and getting the odd stupid booking. Of course, it's Xhaka. Well, we expect nothing less.
Of course. He's
like getting a yellow right before scoring. That's what we do.
Yeah. You know you're going to get that. But at the end of the day, he's a character that he does go through these cycles. He goes through these cycles where he'll play really, really good. And then something will happen. Really and then everyone will just go, for fuck's sake, Xhaka, and lose their shit with him. And then it's almost like he has to work it all back again.
But yeah, we say it. Well, I say it, but we do say it every time we pod and we talk about. And there's clearly something there that the team and the manager see.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Every manager that's managed him's always started him.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a mentalist, isn't he? But I love him for it.
I think all the players you can see respect him. Like all the players look to him and respect him. And put him in high regards.
He had a really, really nice moment with the fans at the end of the game with United. Like he's pretty good for taking the time more recently anyway to go over. And I've noticed it's a real thing with the HLN boys. They always like to think, no, we have to go over to the travelling fans and stuff. But I know that was a really nice moment for Xhaka with the fans yesterday. And especially after the interview he gave where he talked about wanting to repair that relationship and things like that. And, you know, again, I've said it before, I say it again, you can't question his commitment to the club. He works so hard. Like, I don't know if you've seen on Instagram, they sometimes do like training stats. Yeah. And if you look at his training stats, like they're insane. Like his average, like not speed, it's not the quickest, but, you know, like his average mileage he puts in and work rate and stuff. So
but then,
we'll see.
So you look at... Similar to what we were just saying about Elneny. So you look at that midfield and you say, like, next season, Partey's going to be a star. Xhaka, did they sign a contract for Xhaka? I can't remember. I swear they did an extension or something.
They probably did. I don't know. But
then you got Elneny and Lokonga. So it's kind of like, you know you're going to work Lokonga in and he's not really there yet. Xhaka, would they be looking at him and saying we need another body in there, or would that probably come maybe January next year or something like that? I don't know.
It's a tricky one, but I remember you saying a while ago on one of our pods that actually Xhaka tried to do too many jobs and did them badly, and actually having Partey and Elneny next to him allows him to focus on that one thing. Yeah. And things like his pass accuracy and his pass completion and interception, those stats have got so much better since he's had that partnership with Partey. And when he's not having to track back and pretend to be a left back and do this, that, and the other, it works for him. So
that is it. I mean, even going
I'm going to Google if they've extended his contract.
I honestly can't remember. I feel like there was talks about it when Mourinho wanted to keep him. Roma wanted to take him away and stuff, but
for 20 million, who do you not know?
But exactly that. Like when he's got that one job to do, and Mikel's been doing that at the moment. He's been even before these games, he was playing on the left of almost like a diamond, where he was just a bit further forward, and it was almost like, okay, Partey, you do your thing behind, and I've got the freedom to now play the ball left or right, or a bit of time, or and it's benefited.
Granit Xhaka's confirmed he signed a new Arsenal contract. He's been linked with a move to Roma. This came out in August last year. He opted to sign a new deal with the club until at least 2024 with the option for a further year. So they did extend him.
Okay.
Which will take him till about the age of 30, I think, because he's sort of late 20s now, isn't he?
So. Okay. Yeah, so that is kind of then the midfield, like how we have been playing before Partey was injured, I imagine, is how generally the setup will take place and stuff.
But and here's hoping that Liverpool don't come in with a big money deal for Saka.
But then
Liverpool's team is aging. They need a rebuild, which is fine. Klopp's contract's up in 24 and he said he's not extending and it's going to take a year off. So why would Saka
Yeah.
leave a project that's already started to join another project that hasn't started yet under God knows what manager?
Yeah, I don't even want to entertain that thought. I was hearing similar things about Martinelli going there as well, and I was just like, no, I don't even want to. Don't even want to.
I love the way they wheeled out Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry yesterday to just like have a little quiet word. Just stay, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I see some of the pictures as well, man.
They're lovely.
Both of those guys this season have just. They've been next level, right? Like especially Saka. Like some of the stuff. Sometimes when the ball goes out to him, and I'm just like, beat the guy, or pass it back. Like he does the right thing at the right time. For someone of his age, that is just like
it's nuts.
It's just crazy.
And defenders just can't get near him. Though they're starting to get quite physical with him and just clatter him to the ground because they know they can't get the ball off of him. And I'm worried that he's going to pick up a nasty injury soon.
Yeah. I mean, every time he goes down, it is kind of like, oh my gosh. Like even in the United game, there was a couple of times he went down. I was just like, oh man. Well, he came off, didn't he?
He came off injured. He came off injured.
Which I don't know if they've said anything about at the moment.
I haven't seen any updates. It worries me. Who have we got next? West Ham, isn't it?
So we got West Ham next, and I think we're playing them at a decent time because
between both the Frankfurt games,
they got to focus on those games. So yeah, I'm quietly optimistic about that. I know it's another London
it at the
derby.
London Stadium?
Yeah.
Because I thought it might because we played them already. Yeah, I don't want to curse it. I'm quietly optimistic about it as well. I think,
But this is the thing, you just never know because
David Moyes is working miracles at that club. I didn't think I would see. What is it? The semis they're in. West Ham are in a European semi-final in a season we didn't even qualify for Europe. So don't underestimate them.
So am I right in saying if they? I mean, I don't even want to put this out into the universe, but
don't.
If they win that, they go into Champions League. The Champions League places go to still top 4, and them in it, or
I don't know.
Yeah,
fourth place might end up being a playoff type deal, a qualifier. Sorry, which let's face it, that's how we got most of our Champions League football in the past. So playing like carry a bag or someone. I don't know. So it's the Europa League, isn't it? It's the Europa League, not the Conference League. So the winners of the Europa League do go into the Champions League.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't even.
See, I don't want to even put it out into atmosphere because I know so many.
Hang on. Who's going to be in the FA Cup final?
So in the FA Cup final is who was it?
Because that's
Liverpool Chelsea, wasn't it? Liverpool Chelsea.
Yeah, so actually fourth place probably still will get Champions League because one of them will get a Champions League place or a Europa League place by winning the FA Cup or something. De facto. I don't know. Look, fourth is ours to lose at this point.
It is, and this is why
I just don't want us to do a full Arsenal. Like I can cope with it.
Well, I think we've been. Well, this is why I'm like quietly optimistic because each game that I look on paper and think, yeah, we should win that. We should win that. We've not won. So and Spurs are being Spursy as well, and they're equally
being very Spursy.
They're equally messing up the running as well. So,
well, they do have Liverpool to play the game before the London derby as well. So I think on paper they've got a slightly tougher run into the end than we do.
Yeah,
and I think whoever wins the derby is going to take fourth. I think it's going to be the decider.
I hate the thought of that. I absolutely hate the thought of.
Is it at White Hart Lane?
It coming down to us winning at White Hart Lane. That.
Why not? We've done it before. We've won the league there before.
Yeah, we have. It's I don't know.
Wouldn't it be glorious knocking them out the Champions League spots on their home turf? Though?
That would be, but I'd rather have it. I'd rather have a 4-point lead on them going into that
Yeah,
game.
I'd rather have a wrapped up Martinelli as well. I don't think
If
I
I'm
could take
honest.
it. I don't think I could take it. I think, I think it is going to be us or Spurs for fourth. Look, the reality is we're going to be top six. We are going to play European football next season. I think, bar an absolute disaster and us losing every game for the rest of the season, which is a step up on last year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, going back to beginning of the season, I think top six was where I thought we would finish. I don't know about yourself.
Well, I thought we were going to be lucky to be in the top half of the table at one point. Like, Europe,
I mean, after those first three games, yeah, for sure.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it's because they've put themselves in this position that gives us all hope that now it's kind of like, don't take this away. And
please, we've been on an emotional roller coaster for years. Let us have this one.
But I feel like the fans, because I did want to speak about the fans, because especially in the ground, because what has been evident lately is the backing of everyone. Like, they're behind the manager, they're behind every player, they're singing from the first to the last, and
they're not leaving early. They're not booing the players off the pitch if they lose. But I think part of it is down to people missed football so much because of COVID.
Yeah.
Like, they missed it so much.
Yeah.
And I also think this Arsenal team, even when they're losing, they don't look like they don't care. They still fight. They still look like they want to care. And I think that's what the fans have wanted for a really long time.
I mean, I think I remember, I think it was the Liverpool game when, I think, what was it, 4-0 in the end? Something crazy.
Not talk about that. It wasn't a nice score.
But the fans, but everyone stayed. Everyone was singing. Like, the team was still trying to do something. And because of it, the fans are just like, we're backing, we're supporting you. Like, through this, we know it's a mess, but we're going to kick on. And they're sticking with them, which we haven't seen. Like, there's always been this kind of like division or, are you this? I mean, there's still, like, you go online, there's still people saying Arteta out and all this nonsense. But the majority of people are down for the cause and they're like literally backing everything.
I think a lot of fans have finally looked back and realised actually how long it took Wenger to build the team and the legacy he did. And I think they are now prepared to accept it might mean a few seasons without silverware. But long term, if we're not on that horrible manager merry-go-round, I mean, up until last week, Sean Dyche was the Premier League's longest serving active manager.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
and I think he tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal have made a decision. I think they've tried to listen to the supporters, and as a club made a decision that one of the classy things about the club and the legacy is the fact that we aren't just about, well, we're losing, so let's get a new manager in. And I think most of the fans have finally clicked that this is a long-term project. There's a clear identity around the way we play now.
Yeah,
there's a certain set of values the club have, and that's what's been missing for a while. And now the fans can go, this is our team and this is what we're about and this is how we play. I think they feel a lot more invested in the long-term project. There's a lot of talk about Arteta being tapped up for the job at City when Pep goes, which he will eventually, but I don't know. I think what he's doing is a really, really good thing. And I definitely don't want to end up with another manager a year or two down the line. But speaking of managers that year or two down the line, it does indicate with the way things are going that the issue wasn't with Unai Emery when he went. Look at how well he's doing at Villarreal.
So I have looked at some of their results, but I feel like with Emery, it was probably just not the right fit. I don't think I never thought he was a bad manager.
No,
but it was just almost just like our games under him was so much of a lottery. It was almost like attack, we attack all the time.
But was it him or was it some of the players that have now been moved on from the club?
Well, yeah, and he definitely didn't have the backing and the reassurances that Arteta's had to get rid of so many players. And I don't think any other manager has done something like what he's done, where he's literally just gone, nope, you're not right. No, you're not right. You need to go. You need to go. And terminated contracts, knowing that it's going to leave us in the predicament if it all goes wrong. And
well, I was having a discussion at work with a Man United supporter. Can't wait to see them at work tomorrow. That's going to be glorious. And when we let Aubameyang go, he's going, you lot are going to live to regret it. I went, no, a little bit like the Alexis Sanchez situation. Sometimes you have to cut the poison for the greater good. And I'm really sad about what happened with Aubameyang. I am like, he had a really good run with the club for a long time. You know, I thought he was a really good player, but he wasn't the same player for the last year or so.
No.
And when your captain is making disciplinary breaches, sorry, Arteta made the right decision that no one is bigger than the club. And I turned around to the supporter and said, do you think Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola would put up with that kind of behaviour? And he went, yeah, but Arteta's not. Pep Guardiola went, he's not. But Guardiola didn't get to where he was by being a soft touch. He laid down the law early days. And yeah, it might put a few noses out of joint and some people might not like it. But Klopp, even Mourinho and Tuchel didn't get to where they are by putting up with players having like these diva-like tantrums and stuff. And I do like the fact that Arteta is not afraid to make a big call. And he will, if it all gone wrong and we were near the bottom of the table again, he would probably be in the press holding his hands out going, my bad, I shouldn't have done it. He's very open and honest. But I think, the clearing out the dead with some big names went under him.
Some big names did go.
Influential players.
And that Aubameyang one was a massive one because I think all of us were looking at it like, well, we've got Lacazette and Nketiah until the end of the season now. And, well, I think a lot of us are also hoping Martinelli might get a chance to play up front, maybe as well. But either way, everyone on paper is looking at it like, where are we going to get our goals? Like, but at the end of the day, if you know something within your camp ain't helping the rest of the players, then that's a massive.
You have to make that decision.
But you have to make that decision. And it's almost like looking at United, Ronaldo's their best player, but he also changes the way they need to play, because if he doesn't run, like they're pressing yesterday, one of them, like if it was Bruno went, he would look to the right of him and Ronaldo's standing still. And it's kind of like they all need to do it or they need to change their tactics. So by having him in the team, you have to then accommodate that. And it goes back to how we were playing towards the end of Ozil as well, where you're accommodating this player rather than playing the game you want to play and need to play to win the game.
That the style of football is a lot more fluid and they all just look a bit happier. And I don't mean that in a horrible way against the Aubameyang, but when you've got a man that's your marquee signing, but your big player, your club captain on 350 grand a week, you have no choice but to set up around the way he plays. And it just wasn't working.
No,
it wasn't towards the end.
Yeah.
You know, so it was sad, but it was important. It was an important decision. It was a really big, very, very calculated call.
No, for sure.
But it does bring us to the big striker question of the summer, doesn't it? And who we sign and clubs knowing we're desperate for a good striker and popping the price up a bit. And especially when we didn't get Vlahovic in the end.
That one hurt. Yeah, I was
did.
buying into everything and I was just like...
I was convinced he was coming.
The more and more I was watching, I was just like, this guy needs to be in the team. But but it wasn't meant to be, clearly.
There's some rumours doing the rounds that he regrets the decision to go to Juve now, doesn't he?
Oh, really?
Oh, well.
I mean, the summer's going to be massive, though, in terms of getting that striker in, because
I think we need two, actually. I think it's likely Lacazette's going to go. I think we need two strikers.
Yeah. I was looking at it and I was thinking, well, I don't think they're going to offer Eddie Nketiah a new contract. And Balogun's going to come back off loan. He's done... I've seen clips where he's scored goals and he's been a bit pivotal in some of the things they're doing, but I'm not convinced he's ready to step in and be the main striker. So then it's almost like what's happening with Pepe as well. We need to sort out our striking options.
I feel for Pepe, but I think the club have accepted they're not going to get all their money back on him.
Yeah. I think
are they going to give Martinelli a run up top?
don't know. I would love to see it, but
I'd try it.
Yeah,
try it.
I would love to see it, but then I also thought for a while that Pepe could maybe play up top, but we haven't seen that. So
no.
What is interesting with Pepe is Arteta still mentions him and brings him up in press conferences, like he wants him to still be switched on and part of the fold if we need him. But at the moment, like especially his last game, I can see why he's not playing, because he's just, you don't know what he's going to do when he's going to lose that ball. It always seems like in the worst position to lose a ball. And then we get a counter. And the other team gets
look at the way Saka's playing. He's not going to start ahead of Saka at the moment, is he?
No.
Yeah, it's a shame, because there are moments when you see flashes of the player that Pepe was in Ligue 1, and that you see flashes of moments where you go, oh, that's why they paid that money for him. But a little bit like Nketiah, it's just not been consistent enough.
Yeah.
Nketiah has had a brilliant week, but then, playing him against Borough or Forest, or just against the teams he should be banging the goals in, and he's just not doing a
missing sitters, wasn't he?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Who do you want to see up front next year?
Up front? See, I don't even know if I want to do this again, because the last
time it was Dusan and it all went wrong.
Yeah. I would love to see João Felix. If we could push the boat out and spend, because he's, even though he probably hasn't had the greatest of seasons for Atletico, but he's still going to cost a lot of money. But what he does, his energy, his touch, his hold up play, his finishing, he's like one touch finishing. I would love to see someone like him come in. I know it's a bit left field, but he's one of the players. He's one of the players that I do like to watch, even when like they're playing some terrible, suffering, all defense football. He just still manages to stand out, I think.
I think the club really pissed Simeone off in the way they went about activating Partey's release clause via La Liga. So I'm not sure they will get our mitts on João Felix.
Who would be your?
Alexander Isak's.
Really?
Good young striker. He's played with Ødegaard before as well, so there's that link up there. I think now Dusan's a no for me. I'd be Isak's. I think he'd be good.
Again, I don't think he's not had the best of seasons this year, has he?
No. But the big, Also,
Henry didn't have a great season before he came to the club, so
What about, though? We all know everyone's talking about Gabriel Jesus. He's a lot younger than I thought he was, and I forget he's just been around a really long time.
See, I found that out yesterday as well. I was like, oh, you are still quite young. But
he's like 25 or something?
Yeah. 26. I would. I can't even be a snob and say no way.
Arteta knows him.
And
I can see him fitting into the way we play.
His goals yesterday, I mean, the way he outran the defender like straight after half time, I was just like, he ain't gonna get that ball. And he got the ball and got the penalty. I was just like, this guy's crazy. Yeah.
Do we need any more crazy people on our team though? Like, we've already got Tavares and Jackal. We've got enough nutters in there.
But it's going to be an interesting search. What I think is going to be more interesting than who we get in is, can us as fans allow them to get the person they want in? Because, come the summer, we're all going to go nuts. Oh, no, it needs to be this guy. Oh, no, he's rubbish. It needs to be this guy. Whereas you look at their last summer transfer window, we all was doing that about half of the players.
The backlash about Ramsdale and White, and they really came good. The backlash
at everyone that was coming in. Tomiyasu, they were like, oh, he's not even a proper left back. He's a centre back moved to right. I mean, he's not a right back. All like, are we as fans going to allow them to get their targets without losing our shit?
I think considering Edu and Arteta have proven their point, I think they might get a little bit more leeway this summer. Yeah, I mean, another name being bandied about, though, I worry about what the price tag would be because of the whole homegrown thing, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, and that's a name that will trigger me. There was a point where I was like, yeah, I like him, that was probably about a season and a half, maybe 2 seasons ago. But now I'm just
It's
like,
just
I don't know if he is the
he's
right.
done a little bit of a Wilshere and a Walcott, and he's just sort of plateaued now, isn't he? And I don't know if that's down to the situation at Everton, because frankly, that club's it's a mess.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the way this team are playing, and I feel like Gabriel Jesus would fit better into the setup. Because someone asked me the other day, what would you do if Harry Kane signed? I was like, first of all, throw my telly out the window, like. But also, and no, I mean, he's a really, really solid striker, but I don't think the way he plays works for our setup. And it goes back to that Ozil, that Aubameyang, that whole setting the team up around one player. No, not here for it. Sorry.
No, it wouldn't work. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the summer brings. But before
they'll get like some 16-year-old from Ligue 2 or something, and we'd be like,
well, I think they probably got 2 lists, and one of them is if we get top 4, and the other is if we don't. And it just shows how important these next 5 games are for us, because it's gonna make or break the next phase of this project, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, the lure of European football is a lot. The money that comes with qualifying for it is a lot. The need to have a deeper squad as well. If we secure top 4 or even top 6, it won't just be about getting a new striker.
Oh no, I mean, it'll literally mean, you got to look at it. You get in there, you got to stay in it. Like, it begins again. Like, you have to restructure and freshen things up and make sure that you're ready to go again and get that top 4
part of the reason City and Liverpool have been so successful is they essentially have 2 starting 11s that they can deploy at any point. Arsenal have about 1 1/3.
Yeah.
There needs to almost be 2 starting, but then that the lure of it being in the cups and in Europe again might give your El Nenis a reason to stay. More potential game time.
Well, I think that's why a lot of them were probably feeling more hard done by than others. Like, even when Arteta's talking about he's been a bit harsh on Nketiah, I think a large part of that is because we don't have the minutes to experiment with. Yeah, it's almost like I need someone.
And it's so vital that we qualify for Europe at this point that you can't give the kids a run out like you can when you're in the League Cup and everything, So it'd be interesting. And obviously we've got a few players on loan, and whether they're going to come back or we're going to sell them on and stuff. Like, we've got Torreira, who's having the time of his life at Fiorentina. He's loving it. They love him. I think they're going to buy him. There's rumours that they're going to make him club captain. Like, he was never quite fit enough for the Premier League. You've got Guendouzi, and there's question marks over Saliba. There's Maitland-Niles. Just trying to think, did we sold. What did we do with what's his chops? Reece Nelson. Reece. Did we sell him or loan him?
I think he's still an Arsenal player, but again,
I think he's on loan.
Like, I've completely forgot about him. Like, he's one player that has just not been on my radar at all, and it's like there's so much that they're gonna have to still make a decision on. Even the ones that are playing for us, if you factor in Eddie, El Neni, like, there's still players whose contracts, so it's going to be a massive summer. A lot is going to depend on these next few games for sure. I'm just, hopefully we can just kick it off with West Ham. And who Spurs got next weekend? I feel like they've got, is it Leicester or something like that? I feel like they've got a team that they could slip up on.
Yeah, they've got paper. Hang on. I can't believe I'm about to Google Tottenham fixtures. They have got Leicester.
Yeah.
Then they've got Liverpool.
Yeah.
Then they've got us. Then they got Burnley, and then they got Norwich.
Now, Norwich won't have much to play for. Burnley might still have something to play for. But those next 3 games, I'm hoping those next 2 before us, there's a banana skin in there.
We've got West Ham. Then we've got Leeds, which could go either way. They're not playing too badly under that Jesse thingy. Tottenham. Newcastle are safe now, so I don't foresee them causing us too many problems. And then Everton, who, depending on how their next few games go, could be
their
fighting the
future
good
could
fight,
already
as it
be
were.
decided though by that time. So hopefully, anyway, don't want to play.
Arsenal beating Everton 4-0 in the last game of the season will always, 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 always sit with me as long as I live. So
last game's a home game as well, isn't it? We're playing Everton home.
Yeah, we've our last few seasons we've been away at the end of the season, haven't we? So that's a nice one.
Should be good.
But yeah, I feel like Tottenham could potentially be absolutely exhausted by the time they get to the derby, or if they've had a couple of losses, it being the derby could fire them up. I just don't know what way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's no way of calling it. There's absolutely no way. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see. He's gonna have to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, we've got a week. When do we play West Ham? It's on,
I think it's next weekend.
Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. We've got a week to enjoy these last couple of fixtures. Still, I'm going into work tomorrow, buzzing, absolutely buzzing.
Me too. Definitely. After United lost to Liverpool, I was winding some of them up. They're like, "Yeah, we'll see if you're still smiling next weekend." Guess what? I am. So there you go.
So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But I think we should probably leave it there. What do you think? And then catch up soon.
Looking forward to the next weekend. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cheers. Thanks a lot, guys. And yeah, we'll see you again soon.
And hopefully we'll still be singing and winning.
That's it.